One of the interesting things that happens with video game development companies as they get to the top of their game, as they hit that elevated legendary status, the elites of the elite, the best of the best, they've always got a target on their back. It's always a king of the hill situation. And if you want to look at E3 2019 as a whole, there's really one game that stand out above everything else. There's one game that elicited such a reaction from fans that they are clamoring for more information. And that, of course, is Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red's game has done wonders for hype in regards to bringing out Keanu Reeves, part of the Keanu-sense? Anyway, it doesn't even matter. But the thing is that as this game continues to get more popular, as this game continues to build hype, you have all the jerks coming out of the sides, right? They always kind of seem to look for the brightest thing in the room, and they flock to it because they know that they can profit off of crapping on it. And that, of course, is showing us this time around from the left, coming after CD Projekt Red and coming after Cyberpunk 2077. We've already seen Anita Sarkeesian come out there and not so, not quite uncertain terms, saying like, hey, that's a nice game studio you got there. You'd be a shame if something happened to it. Perhaps you should look to me for being a consultant. And that's the thing, right? That she actually did that. So it becomes this issue, this overall problem about how these people are tending to react to Cyberpunk, right? Well, not even just CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077. They're even going after the dude who created it. They're trying to go after him and basically asking him why he's supporting the type of advertisements that people got mad at in Cyberpunk, the fact that there's nudity in Cyberpunk. But the problem with going after the creator of the game, Mike Pondsmith, is that they don't realize that he's black. Actually, this article here says Cyberpunk 2020 director Mike Pondsmith to Cyberpunk 2077 detractors: stop telling me what to be offended by. And you see right here, the dude happens to be African American. That's it. He's an African-American guy, total nerd, created the Cyberpunk 2020 pen and paper game, sold the rights over to CG Projekt Red, and he is a consultant on the game. And of course, this is the world that he helped create, ultimately the world that he did create. And so when people got really upset at this, when the word started to get around and really kind of make its way to the four corners of the internet, Pondsmith responded actually on Reddit. So it says here that Pondsmith finally stepped in to share his thoughts on a thread on the Cyberpunk 2077 subreddit. Pondsmith replied to other users discussing the controversy, saying, "I want to say this just once. I'm really tired of well-meaning people on the internet chat boards patronistically telling me what I, as a black person, should be offended by. You want to be my ally? Go gird up your loins and at this year's Thanksgiving dinner, have the nerve to tell your racist Uncle Bob to STFU for a change." And I love that, by the way. I love his response. So does a lot of other people that are conservative leaning. It's very interesting that even at that last little bit there, because that's clearly aimed at Trump supporters, are coming out and going like, I'm going to buy multiple copies of this game. I mean, we already know that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to sell like anything else, right? Not only with Keanu Reeves clearly going to be on the box art of the game, clearly going to be heavily promoting the game, there's also going to be the fact that it's coming from the people who made Witcher 3, which even 4 years later is still a talked about title. It's still a very beloved, very respected title that has ultimately held up over the span of this near half decade. So when you've got the SJWs and the left going after Mike Pondsmith here, and he comes out and he's all like, look, I get it. You're well-meaning people. You want to be, you want me to be offended on your behalf. You want me to do something like, this is dumb. I created this world. Clearly this is in line with my creation. This is in line with things that I've thought about. And a lot of them didn't even know the guy was black. And that even in and of itself is hysterical, because one, look, as a white person who likes to laugh at white latte drinking SJWs, it's hysterical to me when they come out of the woodworks and they demand that somebody be offended by something. Why aren't you offended by something? And then they go, well, maybe I might be. And they go, hold on, allow me to speak for you. There's a whole bunch of discrimination and bigotry that comes out of that particular group, and they don't realize that they do it. And it's funny as hell to watch. And this is a moment where they got shut the hell down. They were absolutely shut the hell down by Mike Pondsmith, who was like, listen, I get it. You're well-meaning. You definitely want to help, I guess, but don't tell me what to be offended at. And if you really want to do something, why don't you go into the real world and tell your racist Uncle Bob in the MAGA hat to STF up at the dinner table over Thanksgiving? I think that is more of a message about the fact that he knows they won't do it. Because in real life, many of these people do not like controversy. They do not like to go up and get into anyone's face. They don't like to do it. So they sit there and they hide behind their phones and their laptops and their computers. They hide behind Twitter while they all sit in the safety of an air-conditioned Starbucks during the summer, sipping their latte, going like, "You're just a racist bigot." It's the stupidest thing on the planet. It's one of the reasons why we keep bringing it up. But when you've got an African-American man who comes out as a creator of this game, ultimately of this world, and he's like, why don't you all just, calm down? No, don't tell me what to feel. They freak out at it. And so they turn their attentions to other aspects of the game. The Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be the most hotly contested title, the most pored over title, the most heavily discussed title coming out in 2020. We have like 9 months till the game comes out, and they haven't even released the 50-minute demo they showed privately. And they're going to, because they've said as such. So when that happens, we're going to see a lot more things. We're going to see a lot more think pieces about how wrong Cyberpunk 2077 is. We've already seen a bunch of them. How nudity is not used correctly in Cyberpunk 2077, as said by people who have never once learned to code or drawn or probably taken a picture outside of their phone to take a picture of that latte from Starbucks. This is the world we live in. And you know what? It is their right to criticize this. It is their right. It's our right to laugh back at them. And it's Mike Pondsmith's right to go, listen, y'all dumb. You're well-meaning, but you're dumb. And I would love to see more people come out and tell those well-meaning folks on both sides of the aisle, because I do feel that most people are ultimately well-meaning, but they just have the wrong vocabulary, to kind of shut the hell up and to realize that they sound like morons. They're well-meaning, but they're being dumb. And I think that's kind of where we find ourselves in the situation. But anyway, I want to know what you feel about this. I want to know where you stand on this. Mike Pondsmith, hero or zero? Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.